Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're going to do another Fate Reforged Swiss draft. Alright, so our rare is Monastery Siege. It's nice, it gives you a loot every turn. I'm actually debating whether I like Beastmaster more. I mean, Beastmaster straight up gives you card draw, but it's also conditional. So that's actually really interesting to me. I don't know which of those I like more. Do I like hard card draw on condition, or do I like loot guaranteed? This is also a creature as well, so God, that's really hard to weigh. I don't exactly know that. I feel like the safe answer is Monastery Siege since it's not conditional, but let's be honest, looting is not the same as drawing a card. So that's tough. I mean, there's also a little bit of versatility with this since you can do dragons, but I would think you very rarely do dragons. I'm going to go with the siege. I just sort of have, I think another thing that needs to be mentioned about the siege is at least if you discard your feeding delve, so that could be something good. Okay, here I think follow-up pick that's safe is the surveyor. The pick that I think might be the strongest, I guess, is probably still the Surveyor. There's an argument Outcast since, you get a couple bodies out there, but yeah, let's go Surveyor. That seems fine. It's a good card. I like the tempo that it brings. Okay, follow-up pick. So let's figure out what the best card remaining in this pack is. Best card, nothing too crazy in here, actually. I think the best card's probably the Merciless Executioner because it's a creature plus removal, or just removal if you sacrifice itself. So I think for that reason, since Executioner is the best card in the pack, we'll just take the Sage, which is a nice 2-drop, and is on color with our previous 2 picks, so it leaves us more open. And we pick up a fine card. Yeah, there's nothing too crazy in here, so alright. I'm comfortable with that. Next pick, well, Will of the Naga is quite good. Strongest card in the pack. I don't know. It's probably Will of the Naga, actually. I like Soul Summons. Shadow Spear's fine, not amazing. Goreswine is playable. I want to do the Barrage of Boulders, Goreswine, Frostwalker deck sometime. That seems like a fun one. Enhanced Awareness is fine. I think we're just going to go Will of the Naga. Works well with our Monastery Siege. So, seems good to me. Still open to all sorts of different clans, whether it be Sultai or Jeskai or Teamer. Any of those options seem good. Okay. Interesting. Well, there's a Frontier Siege, which I haven't played. Whenever a creature is flying into this battlefield under control, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. Well, if I had a ton of flyers, Frontier Siege probably is fine, but 4 mana for the Khan's effect seems a bit expensive. 4 mana to ramp an additional 2. Although it's at the beginning of each of your main phases, which is also pretty interesting. Both your pre- and post-combat main phase add an additional 2. It's actually not bad. I'm looking at Whisk Away or Rite of Undoing. Rite of Undoing is going to be better in a Sultai deck. Whisk Away is better for Jeskai, I would say, because of the tempo aspect of it. I'm going to go Whisk Away. I feel like because Whisk Away is more playable I mean, Rite of Undoing is quite good too. I don't know. That's tough. I like them both. Well, now I kind of wish I'd taken Right because we get past another Whisk Away, but let's see what else we got. There is a Hungering Yeti, which seems like it would be pretty good in this deck. Although I can continue to stay open. Just take another Whisk Away. I mean, Whisk Away is a fine card. Could take the Rune Mark. I mean, this is probably the best Rune Mark since it gives evasion. I'm okay with that too. I still think I prefer the removal. I think I'm going to go Whisk Away here. Still staying open. Hungering Yeti might be a better card, but okay. This late of a heel cutter kind of makes me want to go into red. Heel cutter on the, what are we, 7th pick? That's pretty unusual. This is like this is a very early pick card in my opinion. Heel cutter is a remarkably strong card that is both versatile in that you can, dash it out for surprise attack, and just powerful in general because getting rid of a blocker continuously every turn can be pretty insane. There is a right into being, which is on color, and I would like it, but I feel like seeing a 7th pick Goblin heel cutter is probably a sign. I feel as though a 7th pick, 7th pick heel cutter feels like it's a sign. All right, collateral damage in this pack, which is a fine card. I think here we're going to take the right into being. Collateral damage is fine, but not amazing. And right into being just feels like it's going to work. I like right into being quite a bit. Clearly I don't like it as much as a heel cutter, but I do like right into being, so I'll take it. Okay. Friendly fire, I think because it's random, I don't like it. Cunning strike though, I like that. I do like Cunning strike. Maybe I'll play a straight blue-red deck. I haven't done that yet, and it seems like I could. But I'm still open to doing Jeskai splashing white. The problem with that being that white is going to have a lot of our prowess cards out of the next couple packs. So it might be that I'm like here I could just take the War Flare. There is a Smoldering Efreet, which isn't that great of a card, but if I wanted to play straight blue-red, I could take it. War Flare is very good if I end up Jeskai. I'm going to take the Efreet just in case I'm short on cheap spells. That happens occasionally. I don't necessarily want to play the Efreet, but it's nice to have the Efreet. All right, we get another one, which I'm fine with. I could take a Shrieker, but whatever. I don't want you to think I really like Efreets that much, because I don't, but they are playable. If you're an aggressive deck, having Grizzly Bears in this format can be nice, even when they're Grizzly Bears with drawbacks. Okay. None of these cards matter to us, so I think we're just going to cut the red. I doubt I play a Mardu Rune Mark. All right, Fierce Invocation seems fine. Could also end up in a weird Teamer deck. There's a Teamer Rune Mark. But yeah, I guess we could be blue-red splash green. But yeah, we either have that or Jeskai as our options now, with the 2 colors that we're currently in, which are both 2 clans I like quite a bit. So we'll see if we see better. We did see that Frontier Siege fairly late, but I don't think that's a super highly prioritized card in general. Abzan Rune Mark, interesting. All right. Last pick, white card. Maybe it's a sign we could be in Jeskai. Triple Rune Mark in sideboardage. That's interesting. Yeah, but I don't think the Rune Marks are super playable unless, I mean, at the very least, you got to be running one of the 2 other colors, or else they're just, more expensive giant strengths. But we're in a decent spot right now. I feel like we're fairly well set up to be an aggressive deck, actually. Wow, Ankle Shanker, you say? Let's see. Could take the Frontier Bivouac. That's a double Mardu. Can you imagine if this was? Can you imagine if this was a sealed pack? For Mardu, Shanker, Crackling Doom, Ponyback, Bonkin, Rite of the Serpent, Blossoming Sands. For like your 4th color, your Abzan Splash, your Savage Punch Splash. Yeah, this pack's pretty ridiculous. I think I'm going to take the Frontier Bivouac. I could take the Whirlwind Adept, but I think there's a decent chance at tables. I wish I had a more exciting first pick, but at the very least it fixes for our colors we're currently in and opens me up for green if I want to go Teamer. I think we have to take the land over the green card in Savage Punch though, so let's take that. Not the most exciting first pick, but that's all right. I do like Teamer. I don't get a chance to play it that much. Being a blue-red base for Teamer is kind of weird. I'm pretty sure Teamer's got a green base to it, but interesting. Well, I could be Grixis and take this Murderous Cut, but I guess I'm looking at I guess I'm looking at I mean, Murderous Cut's good enough where I could just duck out a red and take it. It brings me down to 8 blue cards. I mean, Murderous Cut is far and away the best card remaining in this pack. But do I want to just dip out a red because of it? What are the... I guess the only major convincing cards I have in red currently are Goblin Heel Cutter. The rest are kind of whatever, take it or leave it. Yeah, Murderous Cut's remarkably good. But they took the rare out of this pack, so it doesn't mean that black's open. It does not mean that black's open because someone took a rare over a Murderous Cut. So I think I just play it safer, take an actual pick here, which I think is Force Away just because it's a nice tempo card. So I think I continue down this path where I make a nice blue-red tempo deck, presumably. Interesting. I think I take the Summit Prowler here. I could take the Windscarred Crag, but Summit Prowler is a very good blue-red card to have since it's just, you know, a good costed body in red. So maybe we just go blue-red, see how that pans out for us. Unless I find a compelling reason to go green. I don't think Mandrills is necessarily a good reason to be in green. And Outpost can fix for a Jeskai deck. And actually, I guess it could have fixed for that Murderous Cut, but that's okay. I think we're just going to take the Summit Prowler here, which is a fine card. Okay, Ascendancy. So, whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Currently, we have Fierce Invocation, Summit Prowler. 2 creatures that trigger it, which isn't a lot. I don't know if that's a compelling... It also gives all your creatures haste, though, which should not be overlooked. But we're kind of looking like a removal-heavy deck currently, so I'd kind of like some more creatures. Warshrieker is good. I don't really like it too much with the 3-drops we have, since it doesn't fix for any of them. So I'm kind of looking at this Ambusher, which is a nice, just another nice tempo card. Yeah, let's play... I feel like blue-red tempo is really kind of the niche, the direction that I think this deck could successfully go. So I'm going to try and aim for a blue-red tempo deck. Well, we kind of miss here. I think I'll just take the cancel because it's a playable card. It's fine, and when you're 2-color, it's much easier to play. I've talked about this quite a few times in the past, but if this is like one of the first times you've seen my draft, the reason I don't really like cancel all that much in Khans format, yeah, especially with the addition of Fate Reforged, is because the format, well, sped up with Fate Reforged, but even pre-Fate Reforged, with all of the morph cards, it's kind of a bummer countering a morph because you don't really know what you're countering. But it is still fine if you're, especially if your opponent's got like Villainous Wealth or something, you know, late game explosive. It's nice to have cancel, so I will take it. And no one ever expects it either. All right, I would say if there was a compelling reason to play green, Savage Knuckleblade would be it. So okay, if they don't want me to, if that late of a Savage Knuckleblade, I would say is a good reason to be Teamer. It kind of makes me wish I had the Ascendancy now. There's a chance that Ascendancy tables. I also want this Thornwood Falls now to help fix for Knuckleblade, but we're just going to take the Knuckleblade, bite the bullet on missing the Ascendancy. I mean, Ascendancy's not going to make or break this deck, whether or not I table it, but now I guess we're really going to be hunting for some more fixing to be able to make this 3-color. Ooh, a second Frontier Bivouac. I would take that over almost anything at this point, so excellent, excellent card to pick up here. Snowhorn Rider. Much better than the Adept or the Tracker, I think, in our deck. It's just another cheap thing to do in a morph form, and a 5/5 trample body is certainly a nice finisher as well. Whirlwind Adept's a good card alongside, you know, your Barrage of Boulders and even your removal and stuff like that. But I like the Snowhorn Rider enough where I'm going to take it over the Whirlwind Adept. Okay, we can take the banner. There's a Goblin Slide, which currently works with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in our deck. That's not bad. I still have never really been compelled to make a Goblin Slide deck. But then I could just take a banner, which really doesn't seem that good in our deck either. So I guess I'll take the Goblin Slide. I don't think there's a very good chance we play it. But, I mean, if there was a deck that wants to play Goblin Slide, this is probably it. Just because we have 9 cards already that trigger it. But yeah, Goblin Slide and Quiet Contemplation. I actually think I like Quiet Contemplation more than Goblin Slide. Probably some people are going to think that's heresy, but that's really how I feel. Rugged Highlands is just an absolutely amazing pickup here, since it's going to help splash for green once again, and is on color with another color in our deck. Let's just cut the Goblin Slide for now. I think more than likely I'm not going to end up playing it. We're looking very good though so far. I really like how this deck is kind of coming together. It's a bit unusual to be in Teamer splashing green, I think, but the blue and red we have is pretty good. I guess the Smoldering Efreets could stand to be upgraded at this point. But everything else, yeah, I mean, we seem fine. Trumpet Blast is a fine pickup here. I have 11 creatures, including Right Into Being and Fierce Invocation. Maybe the Weave Fate is actually better. I mean, you never really want to Weave Fate, but if I don't see a Treasure Cruise, I'm kind of going to want something to draw cards. I guess I have Monastery Siege already. All right, I'll take the Trumpet Blast. Like I said, I don't think it's that great of a card, but it's playable. All right, I'll take the Tormenting Voice. There's a chance we play it. It triggers Prowess, which is good, but more importantly, it fills, well, equally importantly, it fills the yard for your Delve spells, of which we only have 1 currently, but we could stand to get some more. Yeah, I definitely like the way this deck looks. I think at this point, our weakest looking cards in the deck are probably the Smoldering Efreets, followed by Cancel. And then Tormenting Voice. Cancel and Tormenting Voice, kind of equal. But yeah, Smoldering Efreets, always take or leave them, so I wouldn't mind upgrading them. I'm really happy about our mana base. Once again, got to reinforce. Having double Tri-land on color is very nice. I'm going to cut the Weapon Master rather than take the Shatter for sideboard. I've yet to want to sideboard into a Shatter. Even if my opponent had a Hero's Blade, I don't think I would sideboard into a Shatter. I guess if my opponent had multiple, like, Ugin's Constructs or something like that, maybe it would be justifiable, but yeah, I've just never felt the need to sideboard into a Shatter. All right, but I'd say we're in a really good place now. We're only, if I want to play 17 lands, we're only 3 cards away from a deck, which I think we could easily pick up. So we can still prioritize fixing pretty high and end up with enough playables for sure. I mean, in a pinch, I can play the Goblin Slide, but I would prefer not to for now. Okay. Here, I think we're going to go with the Mystic Monastery, because it's fixing for blue and red. Second, there's really nothing else in here that's crazy good for us. Canyon Lurkers is a card I've come to appreciate quite a bit. I like it more in a Barrage of Boulders style deck, which I don't think we quite have enough 4-power guys to consistently make a Barrage of Boulders work in here. But yeah, like taking Mystic Monastery is just more fixing and seems fine. I'm not really, like, Alpine Grizzly and Tuskguard Captain are good in green, but I'm still trying to make blue-red our focused colors and red just, or green rather, our splash. Disdainful Stroke or Canyon Lurkers I'd like to, on the splash, or on the wheel rather, but we'll see if that pans out for us. Okay, this is interesting. Warname Aspirant is a very good 2-drop. There's also a Rugged Highlands, and there's a Force Away, and there's a Snowhorn Rider. I think I'm going to take the Warname Aspirant. I'd like to be a fairly aggressive deck. I think we can get away with it. Taking the Rugged Highlands would be really good too. Another green fixer. We'd have 4 pieces of green fixing. That is really nice. Probably help our mana base quite a bit. But I don't know. Warname Aspirant does seem very good in here. We're kind of in need of more creatures too. We currently have 11 with Right Into Being and Fierce Invocation. I'm going to take the 2-drop creature here because I still think we could play Beatdown fairly easily. I'm going to hope to wheel Rugged Highlands. It did wheel last time, or Snowhorn Rider, or Force Away. Any of those would be nice, but for now, let's just take the Warname Aspirant, I think. Crater's Claws pass, geez. Well, I would probably take that over most things, but I'm certainly taking it here. So now we're just a card away from a deck, and we can start upgrading. If I'm playing if my plan is to beat down, I guess I probably want the Smoldering Efreet, and I'd be more likely to cut Tormenting Voice or cancel. Probably the Tormenting Voice, since I already have a little bit of card advantage in Monastery Siege. Temur Charm versus Arrow Storm. That's interesting. Probably just take the Charm. It's pretty versatile. It does put us in more green. And Arrow Storm is a nice card because it burns the face, but I kind of like being able to counter or fight. Temur Charm could also wheel. There's a chance. And Arrow Storm does burn, which is quite good. I mean, Temur Charm is certainly the worst charm. And I guess I'm Creature Light, yeah. It almost makes me want to take the Summit Prowler. I'm going to go Arrow Storm. I know it's weird, but I feel like there's a better chance I wheel that Summit Prowler. And I'm at 12 creatures currently, yeah. All right, here I guess we're taking Rugged Highlands over the Scaldkin, which is fine. Or the Mandrills. Mandrills would actually be fine in this deck too. But I'm going to take the Highlands here. Just all sorts of green fixing at this point, which is just excellent. I could probably very easily get away with 1 forest. No problems. I think this is easily right now a 17 land deck. There's really no incentive for me to go 18. We've got a low enough curve where I think I can easily get away with that. Bear's Companion is a very strong card. There's also a Bloodfire Expert and another Rugged Highlands, interestingly enough. I do like Bloodfire Expert. It's a nice aggressive card. I think Bear's Companion's just got too much upside to pass up here. And at this point, I think the cut we're going to make for it is probably the Tormenting Voice. We're starting to get quite a few 5-drops, though. So maybe I just replace Fierce Invocation for Bear's Companion. I could see that, too. I could see that. If we're playing 17 lands, I don't want to have, like, more than 4 5-drops, really. There's a Roar of Challenge here, which is quite a powerful card, even on the splash. But I'm kind of hunting for more creatures. I know I just said I didn't want to take too many 5-drop spells or whatever, but the interesting thing about Mandrills is that, you know, it gets cheaper when you're playing and trading early on. So I actually think Mandrills can easily be made to work in this deck. And I think I'm going to cut the... cancel for it. Just to be a little bit red heavier, and then splash blue, splash green. Snowhorn Rider is quite good. There is Stubborn Denial, which is fine in this deck, but Skullkin's never that good. It's fine. But let's take a second Snowhorn Rider here over the Weave Fate for sure. And I don't need a second Tormenting Voice. So I take the Snowhorn Rider, and I probably cut... I kind of want all of my 2-drops. Trumpet Blast in a 13-14 creature deck still seems probably unnecessary. Let's just take it, and I guess I'll have to figure out what I cut in a bit. Disdainful Stroke, Weave Fate, and Canyon Lurkers. I do want a pretty good creature count, so I'm a little more tempted to take the Lurkers. which aren't amazing, but are certainly fine and playable. Let me see if I cut a Trumpet Blast. Disdainful Stroke's fine, but I have Cancel, which is probably not as good in this format, but similar enough. All right, let's take the Lurkers. We did table Rugged Highlands, so I'm going to take that over the third Snowhorn Rider. Even though I don't have any issues with Snowhorn Rider at all, I actually think it's quite good in this deck. We have more than enough playables, so why not just make our mana base phenomenally good? There's a Valley Dasher, which is a fine beatdown card. I think I'm just going to hate the Jeskai Charm, though, because I don't need the Valley Dasher. So Summit Prowler tabling is quite good for us. I may actually want to make that work. Skuldkin as well. All right, this is interesting. So our mana base looks great. We have triple Rugged Highland, double Frontier Bivouac, and even Mystic Monastery for more fixing. So our mana base looks great. The Smoldering Efreets look like the weakest cards, but I'm trying to think if I want to be... I mean, Horde Ambusher also doubles as a 2-drop. I probably just don't need the Skuldkin because I don't think it's that great of a card. Very interesting. 17 lands. Maybe I don't need the Mandrills, but I feel like we're going to make early trades, which makes Mandrills quite a bit better. I do very much like where our deck's at, though. I'll tell you that much. Our deck looks very good. Some very strong spells in here, and we have a great creature count as well. Our curve looks quite nice. Very well prepared to play 17 lands. I kind of don't want to cut the Tormenting Voice, but if I were to cut the Tormenting Voice and the Mandrills, I think I could do something like this. Cut those two, keep a creature heavy, still fairly creature heavy, 15 creatures with the right into being. Our mana base looks great. Our removal is Force Away, Double Whisk Away, Cunning Strike, Arrowstorm, Will of the Naga, and Crater's Claws, which is just a great looking removal. We can even get Ferocious fairly often. We have double Snowhorn Rider, Knuckleblade, double Summit Prowler, and Bear's Companion. Mandrills is fine. I don't know if I need it in here, though. Alternatively, I could cut a Smoldering Efreet. I still kind of don't want to. I feel like we can play a pretty good, consistent beatdown deck. I kind of am feeling cutting the Mandrills and the Tormenting Voice. I mean, I could also cut maybe a Canyon Lurkers instead of the Mandrills, but if I cut Mandrills and Tormenting Voice, I have 4 green spells in my deck and 5 pieces of fixing. Is that right? Jeez. I probably don't even have to run. I honestly don't even think I have to run a forest. I might, because my mana is so good, I might just run a forest anyway. Because, yeah, like I said, our mana is going to be just great. We already have 3 pieces of blue fixing, straight up 6 pieces of red, and 5 pieces of green. That's amazing. So we're mostly red. Let me see what our mana base looks like if I add here. So I could do... probably want to do this. This would be 10 red, 10 red, 8 blue. Wait, I don't even need that. Yeah, I'll do 1 forest just to go up to 6 for 4 spells, which is, in my opinion, more than enough. And then this. So this would be 9 blue, 10 red, and 6 green. That seems really good. 6 green for 4 spells, 2 of which are morph. Yeah, I like this. I like this deck a lot. I think this is a pretty nice looking deck. We've got a great curve. We have good removal. We have rares that are good in Savage Knuckleblade and Crater's Claws. And even the Monastery Siege seems fine in this deck. It's not a very proactively aggressive card, but I could actually see dragons maybe being used in this deck. Probably not, I guess. You probably just go cons all the time with this card. But that even prevents us from, having like flood issues. It really helps with that. Smoldering Efreets are by far the weakest cards in this deck, but I actually, with all these tempo cards we have, I kind of like them. Like Whisk Away just looks great in this deck. If I feel like we can build a quick board presence fairly easily, in which case Whisk Away is just going to be bonkers good. And Whisk Away alongside Heel Cutter just seems bonkers too. You swing with your Heel Cutter, you turn off one of their blockers, they block it with their other guy, you whisk away that creature. Just huge tempo swings. Even Surveyor should be great for that too. So I do like this deck quite a bit. I think this is a nice looking deck. 10 sources of red should help us consistently hit our Summit Prowlers when we need them, and our Aerostorm when we need it. Yeah, this is a great looking deck. I think it's very powerful. It's probably one of the more powerful decks I've drafted in a while, and we even have some sideboard options in Cancel, and I guess not much else in the sideboard front, but Cancel is a good one in case there's just, some crazy play like Ugin or something. It'll be nice to have access to that card. Yeah, so looks like a good teamer, tempo, aggressive deck. Looks very good. Good finishing power, good removal. I really like it. So, and great mana base. There really is no weak point of this deck. I think it should work well for us. All right, so we're gonna run it like this, and we'll see you round one. I'm not sure if I misspoke about my mana base. It's actually better than I thought. It's I believe it's 7 green. Wait, no, 3. It is 6 green, but it's 9 blue. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 blue, 6 green, 10 red. So even better than I initially thought. So, okay, just thought I should amend that statement.